Favorite TV show you've ever been on?
Ever been on?
Ever been on?
Oh, I got to say Mr. Belvedere.
There you go.
Yeah. Belvedere ran for 6 years. That was a pretty good run when you consider TV shows.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was a good time.
I'm glad you said that one over Tonight Show. I thought it was gonna be close.
No, you know what? The Tonight Show was really good though. I never did it because I was trying to promote anything.
Right.
I just did it because I got along good with Johnny, and to do that many shows, I think I did. I don't know for sure. They said I did around 100. So
I heard 100.
I don't know, but I had a good time each time I went on there. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Favorite play you've ever called?
I guess, you know, there's been so many good ones. I mean, Braun's home run to send them to the playoffs. Robin Yount's 3,000th hit.
Yep.
The playoff entry games, so to speak, in Chicago, where they won against the Cubs on a little fly ball to right, you know, but it was such a big game and such a big win for them.
Right.
But when I look back, Lance, and think of all the games and all the time I've been here, and the two guys that I started with, Merle Harmon and Tom Collins.
Yep.
I sometimes wonder what I might have done had I not done this. When Bud Selig hired me, I was in New York. I was working doing the New York Writers' Dinner, and Bud was there. He was one of the people being honored, and that's when he offered me a job to come back to Milwaukee and to work here with the Brewers. And you know, it was a great shot for me to come back home again, so I did it. And I could still do all my other stuff, you know. I mean, the banquets and stuff that I did at that time, and I traveled with a guy who was one of the greats in the NFL throughout his lifetime, Alex Karras. We used to travel together once in a while to do. He was there because he was a great player, and I was there because I was an ungreat player. But we traveled together and did these all over Canada, all over the place. But when I think back to those years that we traveled and flew in some of the worst weather, the worst winters, but that's when banquets were a big time deal.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have those sports nights and the banquets, and those were some of the nights when we wondered if we made the right move or not by flying.
You got a question?
Yeah, flying to Canada in January and February. Yeah, it was a little testy, but no, I've been here a long time, but
Yep.
I was born and raised here. I brought a thing to the ballpark the other day, a clipping I found at the house. It said, Bob Uecker throws one hitter. So it was in the little leagues, so to speak, that we had at that time. We didn't call it little league, but it was the same kind of baseball.
Yeah.
Where I was actually a pitcher at that time, and then later on started catching in sandlot ball here in Milwaukee, and then I don't know, I wasn't doing anything around here, so I joined the Army. The one thing that sticks out, Lance, you know, you always wonder what might have happened had you done something else or stayed in. I joined the Army, and had I not signed a baseball contract, I think I would have stayed. I would have done the service. I enjoyed that. But I came down to a workout at County Stadium. I was playing for a team here. We won the city championship like 3 or 4 years. They're called Roar Jewelers. And we had a couple guys that got signed, me being one of them. But I came down here as a pitcher. And the Braves invited me down here, and their pitching coach was a guy named Johnny Cooney at that time. So I come down to County Stadium. They get their bullpen catcher to catch me, and I'm on the sidelines throwing over there. And after about 20 minutes, Johnny Cooney said, let me see your good fastball now. And I said, I have been throwing my good fastball. And he said, then I recommend you get a job. That's what he told me.
Really?
Yeah, that's a true story. And so when I saw him, I don't know, about 6, 7 years later, at spring training. I told him that story. I asked him if he remembered it, and he said no. So it didn't mean very much. Yeah, but at that time I had turned around and was catching then, so that's the way I got signed out of the service. And the broadcasting stuff, I have no idea, because I never did anything. I never did broadcasting, never. And I remember when I was working with Merle and Tom Collins, I was comfortable. I did 1 inning. I did the 5th inning. That was it.
Okay.
And I felt comfortable because they would sit there with me and talk to me, right? Well, they had made it up between themselves that in New York, we're playing the Yankees, and they're going to get up and leave me alone in the 5th inning. So that's what they did. Merle brought me on for the 5th inning, and then they got up and left. And, you know, we all have a cough button, you know, so I pushed my cough button down, and I begged them to come back.
Really?
I begged them, and they wouldn't come back. And the engineer finally said to me, Bob, you better start talking because there's one out. And that was my baptism. That was my introduction to doing a game or calling it by myself. I mean, I was scared to death. I really was.
Wow.
I had already done a couple Tonight shows and everything.
Yeah.
But the radio frightened me because I'm thinking about all my friends that I grew up with in Milwaukee that are listening to me talk. You know,
and you're supposed to know what you're talking about and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Not only that, but what's he doing on radio? You know.
Yeah.
You know, he flunked 8th grade with us. It just didn't seem like it was something that I would be doing.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, I mean, working, like I said, with Merle and Tom, they were great to me and you know, brought me along. And Bud would still let me go and do my stuff. Yeah. Banquets and stuff.
Yep.
And any of the other shows that I did.
Well,
but he was always for it.
Absolutely. And you spin ahead 52 years, 88 years old. How do you want people to know you and your legacy and just you after all this time? Because people love you.
Well, I don't know about that. I was going to go to Japan and try to play next year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought, why not? You know.
You're just so Johnny a thing or two.
Yeah, I mean,
you still got the fastball.
Yeah, Johnny Cooney. Where are you now?
Look at me now.
But no, being around the guys every day is a big plus. Even doing the movies. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't ask to do that. They came to me and asked me if I want to do this movie. So I looked at the script, and they said, do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And the scripts were pretty good.
Right.
They let me do whatever I wanted to say. But some of the other stuff that I've done with film clips, cartoons,
yep.
All that stuff, to me that's fun. That's laughs. And to do that movie, who would have ever known that, you know, Major League was going to be what it turned out to be? Something. But for all those guys, Charlie Sheen, I mean, Charlie Sheen threw the ball pretty good. I was impressed with the way he threw the ball when I first got to meet him, and all the other people that worked in that movie. Mm-hmm. And to do it at County Stadium, yep. I mean, that was, you know, someplace I'd already been when I first came to the big leagues. I played at County Stadium. It's a totally different mindset. You're trying to play baseball, mm-hmm. but when you think you're going to play baseball the way we normally play it, when you're doing a movie, you don't play it like that. Mm-hmm. You know, you shoot one scene and then 6 hours later you shoot another one. You know, the game is over 10 times already by the time. Yeah, exactly.
Do you still get TV and movie offers?
Oh yeah.
Clips,
I had a chance to do a show in California. It's too much.
Right.
26 shows, fishing shows.
Wow.
Filmed in Los Angeles. But I you know, it's time to kind of kick back, do what I'm doing here. Yep. The other things, the show stuff, oh yeah, I get that stuff a lot. Yeah, to go on and do stuff. but I want to be around here. I don't want to have to take time off from here to go and do something else. I want to do the games, especially when we're home.
One thing you don't cut back on, your celebrations. Are you amazed that there is popular? I mean, I know you can cut a rug. I know you can dance. But are you amazed at that?
I don't know. It depends on how many amphetamines I take. No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
But you do I don't know if that's the start the
Oh
lawnmower.
yeah, that's what I know. It's an outboard motor. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't even know the dance.
I finally got to an inboard. Yeah, so I don't have to do that anymore. I just push a button now. Yeah, this thing is the outboard motor. Yeah.
But they've all gone viral.
No, they're.
People love it.
It's spur of the moment stuff. I don't know why I do that or what makes me do it. I mean, these guys, they start dumping cold beer on you. You start moving. I guarantee you start moving.
You're a Wisconsin guy, but what's your favorite Wisconsin non-brewer team?
Oh, I'm a Green Bay man. When the Packers used to play over at County Stadium years ago, again, depending on how they were doing and how Vince's mindset was that particular day, he would let us come on the field, as long as he stayed out of his way. And it was myself and Eddie Matthews, Henry Aaron, John DeMeritt. We had a bunch of guys that lived here, Johnny Logan. But as long as everything was going okay with the team, they were playing good, you were okay. Just stay out of his way. But no, I'd watched Packer games forever. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy used to come down here and hang around, sit in the dugout for a while, or come upstairs. And I've been a Packer fan, years ago when Max McGee and Fuzzy had the left guard out there. I used to hang around with them guys a lot. They came to the ballpark a lot. But Paul Horning, all those guys, they were big baseball fans too. They'd come and hang around here, and the days at State Fair Park, I can't believe when I was a kid, when the Packers played on the infield at State Fair Park of the racetrack. That's where they played their game. Really?
We do.
I went there as a kid. I went there as a kid to watch games, and when I see Lambeau Field now and remember what the crowds were like over here at State Fair Park, man, what a shock.